Alright, so what you're seeing right now is gameplay I just recorded. I wanted to focus on the story this time, because there's an absolute clown event going on. So, Earthwork Games, the developers of Forts, have decided that they're going to announce another official tournament. It's going to be another 1v1 tournament, however, with the rules that, like, as the tournament progresses, more and more weapons get taken away. So by the end of the tournament, everybody's playing with very few weapons, and so, like, you know, back in, like, 2017, when everybody only had nukes, mortars, snipers, gunners, you know, cannons and lasers. No fire beams, no 20 millers, no howitzers, nothing like that. And, you know, everybody was kind of fine with the tournament format and, like, the whole idea of, like, you know, going back in time, messing around without, like, having half the weapons available in the roster. Like, everybody's okay with that. Nobody ever, like, that's fine. However, there was something in the rule set that pissed a lot of people off, and it was the 15-minute time limit. Where you see, the 15-minute time limit is a little bit of a problem. Because it you know, it allows a second win condition where somebody can simply tank to the 15 minutes, and if they have, you know, the qualifying win conditions, which, you know, in this case would be core health, then they would win the game even if they were in a worse position. So the pro players were pretty much unanimously opposed to this, because in the last tournament, they had the 15-minute time limit as well. That's exactly what happened. Somebody simply did core damage at the start, and then tanked for 15 minutes, and then, you know, somebody lost the game, which you maybe shouldn't have lost if it was, like, just normal rules, if there wasn't that second win con. So, what happened is that the Germans came together, and then they organized a resistance against the devs. They were like, you know, we're not taking this. We're not taking this lying down. If you're not going to give us a no time limit tournament, we're not going to play in the game. And because all the good German players organized, then, like, you know, all the people who are connected to the good German players, there's a lot of the good Russian community and the good American community. People like Tar and Rabzik also decided that they would be boycotting the 1v1 tournament. And so after learning this news, 42 scientists, the whole I don't even know if he's the guy making decisions, but he's the guy who communicates with the public and has to deal with all of the fallouts and shit. Came out when it was like, okay guys, we're gonna raise the time limit from 15 minutes to 20 minutes and make it so that it's not core health, but the damage number is the new win con if it does hit the time limit. Now, this is better, I'll admit. Not changing it from core health to damage number does make it more representational of who's in a better position. But it also means that, and of course 15 minutes to 20 minutes, so it allows for more people to, you know, decide actually who's going to win the game, and so it's harder to tank to the time limit. But it still makes it so that you're incentivized to go for weapons that now deal a shitload of damage. Like howitzers, cannons, not lasers. Lasers do a very, very good amount of damage at one concentrated spot, but not a lot of spread damage that adds up to more like cannons and howitzers, or 20 millimeters can do. So now you've basically just replaced one problem with another problem, and of course it's still an improvement. But, you know, so the good players, the Germans, basically saw this and were like, I don't know about this. But there was one thing that sealed the deal in here. You see, 42 scientists came out and said, okay guys, if the Germans, you have to comply with this, otherwise we're going to keep the time limit in future tournaments. But if you do come, you know, in future tournaments, we're not going to have a time limit. And, like, everybody, including me, was looking at this, and I was just like, what? What do you mean? So you're saying if we keep the ass time limit now, you're going to remove it in future tournaments? Why can't you just do it now? You know, if it's possible in the future, why isn't it possible now? What's going to change between, like, it doesn't make sense, you know? It just feels like they're trying to make us comply for this one, and then say, oh, well, next tournament, oh, well, we changed our mind, you know? I think we're still going to have the time limit. Because we even, like, for instance, the good players have been complaining about the time limit for, like, ages now. Like, it's always been a sore spot. Every time that there's a time limit on a tournament, it always leads to some silly shenanigans where people are playing the game differently because there's a time limit and not just playing to win the normal win con, which is, you know, destroying the enemy core, which most people have the opinion is the correct way to play the game. So that's the current state. I mean, 42 scientists, not a good way to phrase that. You know, kindergarten level argumentation. You know, if you let me beat you up today, I'm not going to beat you up tomorrow. But if you don't let me beat you up today, oh, I'm going to beat you up for the next day, for the next 3 years. Like, that's kind of the, you know, the argumentation. Like, you know, you just have to, it's just pain now, and then you won't have pain in the future. Trust me, you know, I won't do, I swear I won't do it in the future. So, a little bit silly. Now, like, I did offer to the Germans that I would, like, just host my own tournament. Would do the exact same rules, get all the good Germans in. And they didn't seem too open to the idea. They seemed just kind of sad. Not, you know, I'm sad too. You know, it kind of sucks that the devs are doing what they're doing. And they're not exactly listening. And also, like, if it's really, like, the time constraints, like, I would be fine hosting the official tournament. I'm sure Curses would be fine hosting the official tournament. One of the German streamers could probably host, like if the devs just don't want to commit their time to it, I could do it. And Curses could do it, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure we would all be willing to, like, do all the cat herding and the things behind the scenes if somebody else, you know, doesn't want to do it. But, you know, the devs seem really content on this rule, and now I'm seeing live that Rome is complaining that, you know, he's an optimist, and now we're all being pessimistic. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, yeah. We've been dealing with the time limit for years. Rome is another person on the Earthwork Games team. So, you know, buy the game. That's kind of a rough situation. Anyways, that's the clown car situation. Germans, I actually kind of respect. All the good players I can respect for, you know, actually going through this boycott, because, you know, they're giving up a prize pool of like $85. And like, you know, there's only one good player that actually did sign up, which was Julian. Which, you know, with the 7 players signed up out of a 32-game slot, it's not looking good. And it looks like the boycott potentially may work here. I hope it works. But yeah, that's the situation so far. It is now January 21st. The tournament starts on February 7th. So the devs have 2 weeks to either somehow find 32 good players that are not part of the good players, with pretty much all of them that are boycotting it. And if they don't, that'd be kind of rough. Anyways, that's the that's the situation with the next 1v1 tournament, which I may be casting. Depends on whether they remove the time limit or not. I'll cast if they remove the time limit. If not, not gonna get the stream from me. Anyways, see ya.